guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are at QEDA day 6. We're heading into our second week of QEDA, which is also our second week of quarantine. Things are going to start to get a little dark in the mental headspace. So I decided to give you guys ideas of daily habits that I use so that I don't drive myself nuts. Those of you who've been following my journey since I was living in Asia, you know the girl went through some dark times. These are the 10 things that I use weekly to try to make sure that I manage my stress, especially while isolated in quarantine, and especially while trying to lose weight. Nobody wants to leave this thing the Joker. Just as a disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I don't have a PhD. I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, or a counselor. I am just a girl with some complicated head issues, and she likes to talk about those things. She also likes to talk in third person sometimes. That's totally normal. Let's just hop into it. So my first tip for creating a daily healthy habit is to create a routine. You need a routine so that you can, at the very least, get out of your bed. And you don't have to write it down and become obsessive about it, but just be conscious and intentional about creating a routine for your day-to-day life, because you'll be spending a lot of your time in the same exact place. Tip number 2. This is a tip that I give to my family and my friends, especially people who are in countries where the news is in their native language. Tip number 2 is to not take in the news in the morning time or when you're about to go to bed. I say that because right now we are being bombarded with a lot of information, a lot of bad news is happening, and it's not to encourage people to be ignorant. You need to know what's happening. Be conscious about the amount of time that you will need in order to process through the information that you're taking in. For me personally, it works best to take in the news in a limited bracket in the middle of the day. I find that that gives me the morning time to get my zen together. Then while I'm eating lunch, maybe I'll have a 30-minute news debrief, and just to be conscious and aware of what's going on around me. And then I won't watch the news anymore because I know that it'll probably repeat what I already saw. 24-hour news cycle. It's a thing. Number 3 is one of the most important things to maintaining a healthy mental state, and that is to maintain a healthy physical state. Try to do exercise as much as you can. Now, during COVID-19, there are so many apps that are free. Nike training app is free. All the premium workouts are free. You can sign up and you can work out whenever, wherever, however you want. Make sure that you're exercising at least 30 minutes a day. Tip number 4 is really important and overlooked a lot of times when people are in their house, and that is to shower and get dressed. Not only will you not stink, but you will also find that you get energized to do things. It can be looked at almost as a form of meditation. So taking a shower or a bath or washing up and just putting on clothes, even if you're putting on the same thing every day, just change your clothes and wash your face. I know that sounds crazy, but it actually does help, and it's something that's very easy not to do when you're in isolation. Tip number 5 is probably the easiest thing that we all can do, and that is to just get a little bit of nature every day. I'm not suggesting that you leave your house and go to the park, but maybe you can look out your window or even open your window and just feel the rays of sun on your face. I'm blessed to have a patio outside behind my house, so every day for 20 minutes I will sit on the ground on my patio and just take some of the sun, the breeze, the birds, take all of that in, just so that I can connect with nature a little bit. If you have a plant in your house, you and that plant have a moment every day. Tip number 6 is super hard, especially in the day and age, and as someone who is actively on YouTube, I struggle with this all the time: to limit your screen time. So we live in a day and age now where everybody gets gratification from other people digitally. We also end up comparing ourselves to people all over the world. And when you're looking at people who show you a filtered version of their life, and that's what you're comparing your life to, it can cause you to be very oh my God, my life is terrible, I have nothing to offer the world, why am I here? And we don't want you to have that idea. So limit your screen time just as you would if you were at work, sitting in an office, or if you were a coach at school. If you're at home and you don't have a meeting, find something else to do that isn't scrolling on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube.
Although, if you do feel like watching my videos, they post every single day. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, and then you can know when they're live.
Tip number 7. Tip number 7 is important for me specifically because I find that I can get bored very easily. Tip number 7, find a hobby and schedule time in your routine to actually do it. I like to cook. I like to look up recipes and make things from scratch. So just find something that you can enjoy doing that doesn't involve necessarily, you know, Instagram or any kind of like screen time, and try to nurture your hobbies right now while we're at home. Secondly, make sure that you're scheduling time for that hobby. A lot of times people pick up a lot of things and nothing ever gets completed, but schedule time to do your hobby. I have scheduled time within my routine for this week to have 2 or 3 hours to just focus on nurturing this new hobby. Tip number 8. Make time for socializing. I understand that we're all in a moment of social distancing because of the COVID-19, but make time to engage people as if you would in real life. You can have digital happy hours on Zoom, on Hangouts. You can play games on House Party. There's so many DJs that are going live. You can join their parties and like listen to their music, but just make time to socialize with your friends. Tip number 9, I love this tip. It's something that I've been doing since I was in 8th grade. But tip number 9 is to journal. Just make an effort to write down things at the end of your day and make sure that you're journaling things so that you can get these thoughts and work through them out of your head. Yes, I do have a Moleskine journal that's beautiful, provided by my best friend, thanks to Now. But you don't have to have that. You can literally just get you this, you know, composition book, wide rule girl, and just write some thoughts down. And the last tip that I have for you to help avoid dark holes, depression, and any of those things that could come with the isolation associated with COVID-19 is make sure you get enough sleep. There's actual factual science-based research that shows that getting a good amount of sleep helps with your mental health. Whatever works for you, just make sure you're getting a normal amount of sleep and waking up feeling refreshed so that you can start your routine again. I hope these tips were really helpful to you as we enter in our second week of quarantine and isolation. It is so important that we take care of our mental health, our physical health, and our just well-being while we're in this process or in this time of isolation. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!